They say some lessons don't come in the form of words. They come in the quiet glance, the way an elder stirs their tea, or how they sit with the storm, not running, not hiding, just being still. This is a story about one of those lessons, a story about grace. And the day I finally learned what it meant, I was 24 when my Aunt Leona asked me to drive her across town. Now, Aunt Leona wasn't really my aunt. She was my grandmother's best friend. The type of woman who smelled like she knew things. Lavender, peppermint oil, and a little something unnameable. Like time and memory had stitched themselves into her clothes. She called me baby, even though I was grown. She wore orthopedic shoes, but her words walked miles. The car ride was quiet for a while, just the sound of her humming and my turn signal ticking like an old clock. Then she said, real soft, "You know, baby, people don't disappoint you because they mean to. Most of the time, they just ain't healed enough to do better." I didn't know what she meant. I was still in that season of life where everything felt personal. Like if someone hurt me, it was because they wanted to. Like the world had time to revolve around my pain. But Aunt Leona just looked out the window, her hands folded like she was holding something sacred or letting it go. We pulled up to a church basement, a community meeting of some kind, and I watched her, slow but steady, walk in like she owned time itself. She greeted people by name, hugged them like prayers. Everywhere she went, folks seemed lighter, like they just remembered who they were. Later, on the way home, I asked her something that had been pressing on my chest for weeks. "Why do you still call your sister every Sunday? After what she did?" She looked at me, not shocked, not hurt, just knowing. "Because grace," she said, "ain't about forgetting. It's about not letting pain shape who I become." That hit me hard. She told me about their childhood, how her sister was mean, jealous, and often cruel. She told me about the betrayal, the years of silence, the apology that never came. And yet, "I call her because I need to stay me," she said, "not become what she couldn't be." Whew. That was when I started to get it. Grace isn't weakness. It's power under control. It's choosing not to carry every wound like a badge. It's setting down the bitterness even when you've got every right to wear it. I started watching Aunt Leona differently after that. How she moved in rooms. How she listened with her whole face. How she held space for folks to be messy and still loved them clean. She didn't gossip. She didn't rush to correct. She just had this way of being. And people came to her, not because she had answers, but because she had presence. One time, I asked her what she thought the secret to aging well was. She smiled, pulled a Werther's original from her purse, like elders always do, and said, "Keep your heart soft, but your boundaries strong, and don't let your joy depend on who claps for you." That one stuck with me. Now I'm older. Not as old as she was, but far enough from 24 to know what she meant. I've had folks let me down. I've made peace with apologies I never received. I've forgiven people who aren't sorry. Not because I'm better than them, but because I'm freer without the weight. Grace is not about pretending everything is okay. It's about choosing who you become in spite of what happened. And if Aunt Leona taught me anything, it's this. You can age with resentment, or you can age with radiance, but you can't do both. So now, when someone cuts me off in traffic, or forgets to call me back, or says something that stings, I try to remember. People don't always disappoint you because they mean to. Most of the time, they just ain't healed enough to do better. And I let that grace be my guide. Not because I'm trying to be holy, not because I want to be walked over, but because peace is expensive. And I've already paid too much to let it slip away again. So this one's for Aunt Leona, for all the elders who didn't yell their wisdom, but whispered it into the bones of those who had ears to hear. And to you, listening now, you don't have to become what hurt you. You don't have to carry every offense like it's yours to fix. You can let go. You can be soft and strong at the same time. You can grow older and still glow. That's what Mama Nim said. And this time, I'm listening. Thanks for sitting with me. If this story touched something in you, share it with someone you love. And remember, wisdom walks slow, but it always gets where it's going.